Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to, it's up in the building.
Yeah, I might have him see if he'll go with us.
Yeah.
And don't wait
Is it
till
in the
Thursday.
building?
No, I'm leaving.
Yes.
Yeah.
They have
Over to the one side.
They have cinnamon rolls
So
and
probably call him on
breakfast
Monday.
burritos.
Probably call him on Monday.
Biscuits and
Because he said
gravy.
give him a little bit.
Oh, they keep working.
Maybe like a couple hours.
Let me get up.
He just said call him sometime next week, give him a little bit of heads up. He said he only lives 3 miles away.
The summer.
Plan B, and they didn't have a plan B.
I wish you would have let us know first. You know, hey, I'm going to sell this stuff. Do you want? I wouldn't. Fair enough. Well, yeah, she didn't know. No, she was going to let somebody else do it.
For those of you who would like to, the Extension Homemakers have breakfast up in the community building, full breakfast and grab-and-go sandwiches. So that's going on this morning.
Well, you guys did.
And we are waiting on the judge. He's just running a few minutes behind. So those of you in the barn, get ready. Our first class is we're going to start our show with gilts.
Happy birthday. Not even gonna look. Staring at her.
She didn't sell what?
It's gonna give you a rough time and wouldn't even let me do it.
Kelly down. What you said?
Good morning.
Jess's grandparents really want it. They don't think you. But she just kept going on. I don't think Jess's grandparents save in Maryland. So they live on the river. Then she flooded and they're tired of doing it. And she was going on. And I was like, well, it's not as good as Love's basement.
Hello, how are you? Good, how are you?
But she's like, it has a someone places for him to go to find out that but they really don't know. They don't use the house that big. But everything would be on one level because that's what they need. To watch the one level, you know, has a basement. They don't have
Clean it out just quick. I was back to go home and get reinforced.
I do like it. I guess that.
He's changed the early size of the kitchen. Well, you can take out the dining with trees now. No, but it's, yeah, I remember.
Again, welcome to the 2018 Fulton County Swine Show. We'd like the first class of Berkshire Gilts into the makeup arena. Class 1, Bert Gilts.
Oh, so you do want that?
Find something. I'll find something.
Go ahead.
It's kind of the same thing. I don't want something outside the family to have. So we can find something.
Hey, she knows. Yeah.
Well, Gavin really did with mommy. Those are good, Mom.
We need Class 2 Chester White Guilds into the makeup arena. Class 2.
Test. There we go. You control the microphone first. Good morning. Definitely my pleasure to be here. Very, very nice Berkshire Guild class to go ahead and start with. The guild that I start with, the young man's right in the center of the ring. Looks like maybe she's came into heat as she's come to the show, but maybe not going to fill up just quite as much, just in terms of physical fill and center body of what the guild has. It's in second. She's my preference in terms of bone, look, and build, though. I think she's the one that just gets across the ring a little more comfortable off of both ends of her skeleton. I like her look. I like her design and her elevation to her shoulder comparatively to what we have there in second. I just think she's a little more toned down in her condition, too. I prefer where she's at right now from a guild standpoint of fat content and just the cover that she's got on her. Really powerful guild in second, and I guess if we're just judging them simply on body shape and depth of body and physical fill alone, then you can go ahead and pound them out and start with the guild that's in second. For me, she's got to move better. You watch her get to going off of both ends, and she's the short stepping one of the top pair. She's a plain looking one up through her head. Got too much fat in the rear part of her underline and just too short and steep in her hip. For what I like, she's just maybe a little more jammed up everywhere, but a really powerful guild whenever you're up on top of her. Definitely wide built, leaving you just not good enough movement for what I like. The one that's in third is a lot the same way. I like her bone, I like her width, and she's got some shape to her. She's a guild that for me just comes apart too much right in behind her shoulder. Not nearly as good looking as what we have in your class winner. We've got to elevate her up front, clean her up there in the base of her neck, and just square her front feet up as she comes right to you. I think we can let kind of the rest of them out down the lineup. I think all those guilds have some quality in terms of design or muscle. I just go ahead and sort them simply on feet and legs. Keep the sound ones up, and then put the ones that for me need to move better down the lineup. Really good Berkshire Guild class to start with. I ask you to put your hands together for each and every one of those exhibitors. I think your Grand and Reserve Berkshire Guild were in this class as well. My compliments to them all.
Our champion bird Guild is exhibited by Braden Unger Overmeyer, and the trophy is sponsored by Bill's Family Farms. The reserve champion bird belonged to Cheney, Canada. Third, Chesney Miller. Fourth, Chesney Miller. And fifth, Kylie Hasselby. Class 3 Chester Gilts into the makeup arena.
I think a really good class. I like this top pair of Chester Gilts a good deal. I think whenever you begin to study them, both of them kind of contrast in their time and have different things to offer, but both of them are both unique in a few areas. The gilt that I start with, she's the one that comes to me probably the most ripe and ready in terms of her body, her muscle, and just her presentation out here. I mean, her skin and hair is second to none, and that gives her that show ring appearance and presence right away. The young man's obviously worked with his projects. He's got both of them broke that he's came to the ring with thus far, and that's part of the deal too. But yet still, whenever you just simply study the gilt, I like her width, I like her feature, I think everything matches together really good. Great in terms of her body, love her underline, the size it's set to her vulva is good. She's maybe just a little frailer in terms of her bone work. If I'm changing her, I'd stouten her bone just a little bit. And I think that's getting awfully critical on a really, really good female to win this particular class. The look, the elevation, the muscle shape, and the bone that's in the gilt that's in second is what I love. I think she's a great design gilt when she's off the fence. You can really study her just in terms of her build, the way that she puts things together in terms of her profile. As she comes right to me, I just don't see her quite as wide. Right through her chest floor, I don't see her as good at her knee. She's just a bit more upright in the set to her shoulder blade and down to her knee and to her front foot. And then as a result, she's the shorter stepping one of the top two. But once you're up next to me, you've got to appreciate that shape, her width, her bone, and squareness going right away. Really a good gilt there too. The gilt that's in third, I'll be honest with you, whenever she first came in, I had her plenty far down the lineup because I thought, well, she's maybe the small gilt here and just gets a little more jammed up. The more I looked at her, the more I liked this thing. I think her feet and legs are dead on. She's very sound and comfortable in terms of her movement. We can square her up just a little at her knee. We can lengthen her out there through her face and just give her a bit more look. But guys, that's a good little Chester gilt right there with a good running gear. Whenever she goes, I like her a good deal. The one that's in fourth, she's wider, she's better looking, coming right to you. She's the one that to me just gets a little off in her hip and her hind leg. Got to see her reach and go better, still comparatively to what we have in 5 or 4, 5, and 6, or 5, 6, and 7, whatever we had there. I think that she is sounder than those. Got a big, powerful gilt for the two young ladies that come out there. They both just need to be sounder whenever you get them out here and move them. Lots of bulk, lots of mass and capacity in them. For me, they just have to move better. Congratulations to them. Good class.
Placings for this class: first, Braden Unger Overmeyer; second, Riley Jordan; third, Amanda Evers; fourth, Shaylee Shriver; and fifth, Cheney Canada. We need Class 4 Dura gilts into the makeup arena. Class 4.
just had the single injury here in the second class of Chester Guild. So the young lady brings us a good guild. Whenever you just begin to look at her in terms of length of profile, her bones are big and stout. She's got a tremendously good foot underneath her for being the younger guild in that particular setting. That guild still has so much feature, look, and presence. If I'm changing her, we like to maybe just soften her rib up just a little bit and drop her in her flank, and that's what I love about the guild who wins the first class. I bring the guild in the first class out because to me, whenever you begin to study both of these guilds as they come out, they're two sound guilds that both have a tremendous amount of quality to them. I like the young man's guild, to me, just a little better in terms of being more ready in her rib and just a little more ready in terms of her presentation out here. And yeah, it still moves nice whenever she gets to going. Not saying she's perfect. I maybe just loosen her hip just a little bit. But I do think she's the one that's just adequate in terms of her bone, body, shape, and everything fits together. Young man's heavyweight guild, here's your champion. Congratulations to him. Brings out the guild that was second in that class, and like I talked about, I like her length and her elevation. I think she's very good in terms of her presence. Just a little straighter up front, maybe not quite the length of stride of what the guild has that ends up winning the first class or the second class there. This guild's intriguing. I think she just needs more time to kind of soften up and body down, maybe open up just a little more up front. But man, she's incredible in terms of her bone work. Her hip and hind leg assembly is good. I think she's the one that's laid a little further back in her shoulder. She, to me, is the more unique one of this particular pair. Young lady's February guild will be reserved. Congratulations to her.
Our champion Chester White Gill is exhibited by Braden Unger Overmeyer, with the trophy being sponsored in memory of Josh Baxter by the Zen family. And our reserve champion Chester White is Ashley Hasselby.
I don't know. You want anything?
We need Class 5 Dura guilds into the makeup arena.
As we get started with our drop gilts, I think a very, very good gilt to go ahead and win this particular class. She's the combination of what we have in second in terms of look out front with the extra width and bulk of the gilt that ends up there in third. I like the way that she gets out and goes comparatively. She's opened up underneath. She's got a great look to her. Underline's great, looks great up front, and her body fits her frame size. She maybe tucks her hind leg just a little far up underneath her at times, and it's maybe not quite as attractive out here in the ring, but still she's the one that becomes the most mobile of the top three. This gilt comes out, and again, looks like we're maybe fighting a little heat on her. She just maybe becoming a bit more ornery than what that young lady probably terms ideal right now. I love her body. I like the way that she leaves me. To me, whenever she comes right to you, I've just got to square her knees up, sets a little deep on her front foot. From the profile, I can't get anything to balance. Her top line, she wants to sway down right in behind her shoulder. Whenever she gets to going out here, although she has a nice set to her hind leg, maybe wants to stomp them down just a bit hard behind. The one that's in third, whenever you get up to her, she's got a tremendously wide and big spread to her top line. Leaves you the same way in her upper hip. I think just a real balance, very good kind of a Duroc Sal long term. Whenever I compare her back to the top two, I don't see her just quite as unique in her look, her bone, and her width as she comes right to you. Maybe just a little plain and just a little more condition on that field comparatively to those top two. Young ladies comes out wider build on both ends. I think she's probably, as she comes to you, leaves you the widest one of the top four of them, and maybe even anything in the class. As I get right up on top of her, I read her a little flat in her blade. I don't read her as stout in her bone work in foot size as I do those top three to match. I've got to go ahead and just have more substance in the ground comparatively to what she has up high. Young man's comes out nice looking, good shape, too flat in her rib, too frail in the ground. Young man's a closer class here, like the length of spine and length of body and profile in that gilt. Moves relatively decent. It's not enough to her whenever she comes at you. Same thing whenever you're up next to her. Just got to go ahead and slow her down, get a handle on her in terms of showing, just so we can get a better look at her. I think to me she just still again whenever you get up close to him doesn't have enough to her, but a nice gilt to close. Congratulations to him. Really like our class winner.
I'll go down there and help us out with that.
Placings for class 4. First, Ashley Hazelby. Second, Addie Harsh. Third, Beth. Fourth, Delaney Bartman. And fifth, Braden Calvert. We need class 6 Hampshire gilts brought to the makeup arena, class 6.
Anyway, sorry.
These two gilts enter the ring. Both young men do a good job. It doesn't take me long to figure out, though, that there's a class winner, and then the young man's right here. My compliments to him. Not only being able to present her, but bringing a good gilt out to the ring. I think whenever you talk about look, presence, and volume, and yet still for her particular age, having enough feature, and yet moving good, and everything just kind of fitting in a basic sense, that gilt's elite in a category of her own in this particular class. Whenever you just begin to study her head carriage, her muscle, the way that she puts together those good things about her feet and legs. Young man that sits second, maybe just a pinch heavier bone than even your class winner is. I don't falter from that standpoint, or her feet and legs. It's just whenever you get up next to him, she's a little flatter in her rib, a little more tubular about her body, maybe just not quite the strength of front foot of what we have in your class winner, but certainly a good one in terms of her length of profile and build behind. Two very, very nice drop gilts. My compliments to them.
Placings for class 5. First, Connor Summers. Second, Aiden Elliott.
We get our pair of gilts back out, the young mans and young ladies there on the far side that were your class winners. And I think those two gilts resemble each other whenever you get to the profile of them. Both of them, their body fits their frame. Both of them come and go very wide and very square. One of them to me is just maybe a little longer, a little leveler about her rump, and he just handles it just a pinch that are behind. I think a very intriguing yield. Just stout enough everywhere, but still has the right parts and pieces, it looks like to me, to only continue to get better. She has the least faults, in my opinion. Young man's yield that comes out of Class 2 is my champ. Congratulations to him. Young man's right here that was second in that class. Good build behind, not as much to her. The one that just looks the most like your champion came out of Class 1. That's my reserve. Congratulations to her.
Our champion Durham Hill is exhibited by Connor Summers with the trophy, sponsored by Doug and Angie Miller. And the reserve is Ashley Hazelby. Class 7, Hereford Guilds into the makeup arena, Class 7.
I believe just the 5 amateur gilts out here. So the first and second obviously will be your grand and reserve. So a nice round of applause if you could for the 2 young men. That'll be your grand and reserve amateur gilts as well as your first and second here in class. young man right there that wins this particular class with the narrower belted gilt. Whenever she comes in, I think there's no denying the way that she puts together build and profile and the way that she puts together her body compared to her frame, her bone work, her foot size, and yet still her ability to get out and reach and go and her comfort level on both ends. I maybe tweak her hind leg just a little bit whenever you get right in behind her. Not saying she's perfectly square, but I don't think it's anything that you could beat her with. I love just the profile of that gilt, the bone, the foot size, and the muscle shape. That's an elite Hampshire gilt to start. A very, very good set of Hampshire gilts, and all 5 of them. The one that ends up in second, whenever I get right behind him, I want to just go ahead and say that, hey, her hind leg drops out of her hip a little square, so I can go ahead and start with that added body and the shape and the power that she offers. Her bone, to me, doesn't match her body. I think she's just a bit stilty in terms of the way that she moves. Whenever you watch her go, comparatively to your class winner, she doesn't take her hind leg and reach it just as far back behind her as what your class winner does, but still comes together very good from the profile. Love the shape and power she's got. This one's a little crazy. Doesn't maybe want to show like the rest of them, but man, whenever you talk about profile and bone and just a big feet, I like this Hampshire gilt a good deal. If she'd soften up and slow down and get her head up, that gilt could maybe move up a spot or two, because man, is she square and great-footed. Love the profile. That's a good Hampshire breeding gilt long-term if you're into making some show barrows. Young man's comes out for me just a little better look out front, a little stronger right in behind her shoulder, and better down her top line and out of her hip of what we have in the gilt that'll close the class. She still needs to be wider. I need to soften her up in terms of her body and flank. I've got to commend this young lady. She's got her gilt broke. Those two have worked together good at home, it looks like to me. Gets the gilt's head up and give you a nice profile, real good on her feet and legs. Just too plain up through her head and neck, not the bone, not the muscle of what we have in the top 4. Congratulate them with a nice round of applause. Good set of Hampshire gilts there.
Our champion Camp Gilt is exhibited by Max Summers with the trophy sponsored by Chris and Betsy Gardner family. The reserve champion Gilt is exhibited by Isaac Ramsey. 3rd, Kane Finke. 4th, Chaz Warbenberg. And 5th, Kylie Hazelby. We need Class 8 Landry Skills into the makeup arena. Class 8. We'd also like to recognize REMC, who donated the lights here for the arena and did all the installation.
Young man right here, tag 132, has got your class winner. I just think to me this kind of comes out and just kind of reaps the benefits of the class in terms of width of body, squareness of build, and yet still being the best in terms of her mobility on both ends. She's the soundest Hereford gilt out here, and yet still has the most. Kind of hard to beat that one. The one that's in second, love her width. I think she's a little better looking out front. Just a bit awkward in the way that she moves out of her hip and hind leg. Our young lady's gilt down there that's in 3rd. Definitely the small one in class that kind of giving up some performance and feature, but that gilt still has a good build to her. I think she's sounder than what the gilt is. It'll close the class right here. Like the length of body and depth of rib in that gilt, just not good enough movement whenever you watch her get out and go. My compliments to your Hereford exhibitors, also your champion and reserve in this class. Give those kids a nice round of applause. Good set of Hereford gilts.
Our champion Hereford gilt is exhibited by Blaine Plumer with the trophy sponsored by Bill and Sherry Ramsey. Reserve champion Hereford gilt is exhibited by Isaac Ramsey. Alexa Pinky, we need your land race skill. Alexa. We need Class 9, Fulton, China, into the makeup arena, Class 9.
Was the guilds kind of funnel in, it just, to me, kind of an easy breakdown of them. I think they just kind of fit together the way they're supposed to, and this class becomes an easy class to judge through. Young ladies right here that I start with, she's extremely bold in the landrace division. I mean, incredibly widespread up high, as wide as you can build one behind, and yet still very square on both ends of her skeleton, very comfortable, very sound on both ends. Got a nice look to the bottom side of her neck, maybe crest up, just a little tighter and a little bulkier right at the top of her neck. She's not the biggest bone, and I don't mean this harshly, but she's kind of landrace boned. I mean, she's got enough in her particular breed to match what she has up high. That is an incredibly stout, wide, good moving beast in the landrace division. My compliments to her. The one that ends up in second, she looks the most like her whenever we let her just stop and stand. Big rib, the extra capacity and width that she carries. She gets to swaying and swiveling like some can out of their hip and hind leg in this breed. I like to just soften the way that she goes off of both ends, drop her heel and just set her hop back a little further behind her, but I still keep that extra extension, the extra rib, the extra bulk that she has up there in the top pair very handily. Then ladies, it's in third. Whenever you talk about big framed and extended, she's that one in this class. She's probably the biggest featured one in terms of forearm and hind leg, the biggest footed one. Whenever she turns and leaves you, she's just too flat. She's too narrow, not as much capacity, not as much rib, and just volume in her comparatively, but a very, very nice one as well. Good class of landrace, excellent champion and class winner.
Our champion landrace skill exhibited by Allie Harsh, with the trophy sponsored in honor of Dave Lawson. The reserve champion landrace, Alexa Pinky, and third, Ashley Hazelby. We need Class 10 spot gilded to the makeup arena, Class 10.
class of Poland's. I like the guild that I start with a good deal. I think she's the best looking one out front, the most elevated up front. Still comes and goes wide, good in terms of her rib. Hip up changer, she's a little short, a little steep in her hip, and maybe just kind of wants to take her hind leg and drag it up underneath her comparatively to maybe what we have here in second, but I still don't call her anywhere unsound. I think that she's square, nice build, good bone, everything matches. Just a very, very good Poland gilt to win this particular class. Obviously, we're beating the biggest one in class, and if you're just judging them pound for pound, or just by pounds alone, then she wins the class because she's the biggest one. For me, she needs more bone to match what she has up high. Gets a little wobbly out of her hip and hind leg whenever she drives. Not as much true width in the base of that gilt skeleton, but I do like her shape. I like her presence and her build from the profile. If you want to switch a pair on that, you probably could because she is a little longer and leveler about her rump. The one that's in third, she's arguably, even for her size, probably the biggest bone one in class. At the same time, whenever you get right in the midsection of her body, she's the flattest and the harshest. I don't read her as good out of her hip and hind leg. Got to clean the calluses up on the inside and the outside of her joint there, just to make her hind leg look more stable and attractive out here. But a nice Poland gilt to close the class. Compliments to those three young people. Good Poland gilts. Put your hands together for me if you could.
Our champion Poland China Gilt is exhibited by Tyler Martin Overmeyer, with the trophy being sponsored by Overmeyer Show Pigs. Reserve champion is Gary Plummer, and third, Brady Beck. We need Class 11 spot gilts into the big arena, Class 11.
Young man right there in the center of the ring's got a class winner that comes to me as a handle in this particular class, with bone, body, and just the maternal look that she brings into the spotted gilt ring. Yeah, still very, very good on her feet and legs. I like her a good deal to win this particular class. The one that looks the most like her is against the fence, and the young lady there in the white t-shirt, like that gilt, and just in terms of her look, her length of body, her shape's probably a little better right out of the back of her shoulder. At the same time, whenever I take her from her spine back to her hip, I read her just a little tighter, not quite as secure out of her hip and hind leg, not as much bone and foot in that particular gilt as what we have in your class winner, but I still think a very good one in terms of look and profile. I use the extra feature and balance in the young lady's gilt third to stay there. She opens up probably the biggest of any of them coming right to you. Just a little awkward out of her hip and hind leg, not as much true shape, working through the back side of her hip, and from there to the ground, I'd like to open her up. Young man's little closing class, nice looking, good design gilt that just needs more to her. Congratulations to the group of them.
Placings for Class 10. First, Brant Beck. Second, Olivia Jones. Third, Shaylee Shriver. And fourth, Braden Calvert. Class 12 spot gilts into the Mega Marina, Class 12.
It's an awesome set of spot gilts all the way through the class. I think there's lots of quality, no denying. Again, the young man's gilt, I mean, comes out with that extra look and power, width, and substance to her, and yet still so good on her feet and legs. That is an intriguing spotted gilt to win Class 2. The one that's in second, whenever you just talk about rib and dimension, she's the second best one in this class. For me, where she takes her loin and ties it into her hip, she's the smoother one of what we have in 3, 4, 5. Whenever you just begin to study her, I just like the extra Sally look she's got to her out here, and yet still good on her feet and legs. Not quite as attractive out front, not quite as stout in her bones as what your class winner is, but a nice one there. Young man's it's in third. The extra extension, the extra muscle shape, I really appreciate in her, and I still think she's big boned and big footed right there at the surface. Whenever I take her hem loin junction and I just start to study it, she gets too hard and harsh right there at her hem loin. I've got to drop her down in her mid body, soften her up back to her flank, comparatively to what we have in first and second, but a good one off of both ends of her skeleton. Young man's it comes out in fourth. Lots of power and dimension in her. I just wish she handled it better. Gets a swiveling and becomes more awkward out of her hip and hind leg. Not as good right through her throat latch. I'd like to clean her up and just extend her out front. Young man's comes out next. Lots of shape and design in the front 2/3 of her. That gilt's got to be better in her hem loin hookup. Not as big boned as what these top 4 of them are, but definitely a nice one there. Young man's still closing class, good build. Not as much to her comparatively to her contemporaries up the lineup, but a nice one in terms of her build and design. Congratulations to him. Again, awesome spotted gilt class. Unique one to win this particular lineup.
Placings for Class 11. First, Max Summers. Second, Adeline Jordan. Third, Tanner Crom. Fourth, Max Harsh. And fifth, Braden Crom.
I think definitely a good set of spotted gilts to end up closing this particular division. Gilt that I start with that for me maybe doesn't have the extra shot of power of what the gilt has in second, but obviously the sounder moving one of that particular pair. I just think she's a little looser on both ends. Everything fits together good on her. Big bone, big footed, nice looking, and yet still sound. I like her a good deal in this particular class. The one that's in second, she is more powerful. If you're just studying muscle shape and width alone, that particular gilt's the best one in class. For me, she's got to hinge and go better behind. Got to clean her up with the top side of her neck, fix her hem loin hookup, and just square her hocks whenever I get right in behind her. That's what I like about the gilt third. I think she's basic and the fundamentals are there. Big bodied, sound build. Just not as good looking, not as unique as what we have in first and second. Not as stout right there at the ground. We've got to fix her front feet whenever she comes to you. But just a really solid one there in three. Young ladies in four. Again, nice job presenting her. Good looking gilt that needs more muscle shape. We just like to stouten her up. A little uglier headed, kind of got it crinkled up, or a little smaller ear there. Doesn't maybe just make her look quite as attractive out front. Young man's, it comes in five as a powerfully built gilt whenever she leaves you. Got to change her at the top of her neck, right there, just her crest and her chine. Just doesn't read quite as attractive out here like the fixer on her front feet. Young man's a little closer class, and just got to build her a little better on both ends to move her up. Congratulations to them. Make a very good class to work through. Get a nice class winner.
Placings for Class 12, first, Brock Heiser. Second, Rolanda Reichert. Third, Christian Obermeyer. Fourth, Kylie Hazelby. And fifth, Chase Miller. For our champion spot drive from Class 10, we have Grant Beck. Class 11, Max Summers. And Class 12, Brock Heiser. We need Class 13 Tamworth into the makeup arena. Class 13.
Give these three young men a nice round of applause. Went through three good spot gilt classes, got three real good gilts to come back out for your champion drive. I think amongst the group of them, two of them look alike, one of them doesn't, and one of them just kind of comes out just very unique in the way that she's built. You look at her lines, her profile, her width, her squareness and stoutness of feature, just that bone work and foot size she's working with, the elegance that she has in the ring. I think that she's the one that maybe gives up just a little bit in terms of rib shape and dimension to her center body. If that comes, if that rib pops, it explodes and opens up like it needs to, then all of a sudden she becomes one of those gilts that moves from the county fair to a state fair division and becomes very elite and one of those that's sought after in terms of her feet and legs. Incredible build, incredible look. I just think a very, very intriguing female to win the spot gilts today. Young man's right there at Class 2 is my champion. Congratulations to him. Breezy Gilden then was second in that class. I think she fits right in the mix. You take away that really unique one to go ahead and win, and then all of a sudden, there's the other one with body. There's the other one that's sound. I still think there's another one in here that probably used her hind leg better than those two, and then yet still continues to just impress me in terms of that width and substance feature and just the amount of mass. I didn't think she was just maybe quite as good looking out front, just quite as good right at her hem loin hookup. But boy, she's square, got huge feet, big stout legs. Like her a good deal. The young man's out of Class 1. Here's my reserve. Congratulations to him.
Our champion spot gilt exhibited by Max Summers today with the trophy sponsored by Jennifer Lugans. And our reserve champion spot gilt is by Grant Beck. We'd like to welcome our judge today, Miles Tenyas from Highland, Illinois. Miles went to Lakeland Junior College, then went on to Western Illinois University. Currently, he's working for Showbride Feeds and runs the livestock at the family farm. Welcome, Miles.
Back again, man.
Opening Class 14, your guilds to the makeup arena, Class 14.
First and second also become your Grand and Reserve Tamworth guilds, and both of these guilds very, very nice in the way that they're put together. The one that is kind of the outlier in this particular lineup is the one that I start with, just a little further along in terms of her body, presented to a T and broke and just fit and put together like a good show guild. The young man's done an extremely good job of presenting her up-headed, big top, big ribbed, and sound on her feet and legs. I think you freshen this girl up and you just give her a little more flank, and all of a sudden it might become a little closer out here. She's the stouter bone one with probably more natural width and muscle shape. At the same time, whenever I watch her move, just a gilt that becomes a little tight and more hesitant out of her hip and hind leg, not as good out of the front third of her skeleton as what your class winner is, but still another very good Tamworth gilt. Our compliments to them. Give those two boys a nice round of applause. Definitely well deserved. Two good gilts that they show.
Our champion Tamworth Gill, exhibited by Tyler Martin Overmeyer, with the trophy sponsored by Jason and Sue Young. The reserve champion Tamworth by Christian Overmeyer. Let's bring Class 15 Cross Guilds, Class 15 Cross Guilds to the makeup arena.
Oh yeah, I'm back. First to the right, my face back. I heard Bailey screaming. Slightly used.
Went to the bathtub this morning. I spent 5 minutes I'm not
Young lady right here in front of me has my class winner. I like that, Gil. Whenever you just get down to the shavings and then you study her from there up, she's the most genuine on both ends of her skeleton. Still a gilt that brings an extra shot of bone and feature to the program, and yet still she's good on her feet. I like her strength of pastures whenever you watch her go comparatively to what we have in second. The extra shot of bulk and width and substance probably sets in second. The widest built one's in second. She's too far down on all 4 of her feet for me. I've just got to correct the way that she goes on both ends of her skeleton. I still think comparatively to what we have in 3 and 4, she's not any more incorrect in her structure. So the extras in terms of width and muscle and body and just the extra bulk that she carries in the ring will allow her to stay here in the top pair. Young man's in third. Looks kind of like your class winner, I think, from her hip forward. Whenever you study her head, her forearm, and just her front foot, as I work back into her ham loin, she wants to tighten up more. I don't read her having as much bone work as the top 2 whenever you watch her go right away. At the same time, she's the straighter built one out of her rear too. Young man's that ends up there in fourth, like the extension, the length of profile, and the elevation up front. A gilt that just needs quite a bit more width and bulk and mass to her and dimension to be competitive with those top 2 or 3, but still a nice gilt to round them out. My compliments to all 4 of them.
Our champion Yorkshire Gill, exhibited by Annie Harsh, with the trophy sponsored by the Dittmeyer Farms. Reserve champion Gill, Isabel Scales. Third, Evan Harsh. And fourth, Brock Heiser.
We only have one shift this year. How are you? That's fine.
Winning Class 16 Cross Gills into the makeup arena, Class 16.
We'll just go round up to the side. She's got a pair of cross pins around the place on the floor. She'll come down.
These guys got many. I'm pretty sure Rebecca's still a girl.
What a good way to start off the crosses. The young lady's blue belted gill comes to us with that extra look, presence, and tallness at the point of her shoulder. Yet still handles it so good off of both ends whenever you watch her move. Got the big, hard back shape in her. Real wide and square. She comes to you and leaves you still thinking the appropriate kind of condition. Some would maybe say she needs to soften up in terms of her body shape and her flank. I wouldn't disagree, but I still think she's a lightweight gill who's starting to show the extra, the extras out here, and she's one of those that probably in that cute stage. If we can get enough just chunk and probably just roll a little fat up over her rib, all of a sudden That is a very, very elite one as well, and I'm sure it'll come. It looks like it's starting to. That's harping on her a little hard. We got the extra bulk, the extra center body in second. Whenever you just begin to study them from the profile, the depth and sweep to her rib, get up next to her. She's got a bigger turn to her fore rib. Not as big bone, not as neat looking as what your class winner is, but certainly a sound, a nice built one there at the ground. Very, very good top pair. Young ladies, it's in third. Presented to a T in terms of her skin and hair. Probably the biggest bone one within this particular lineup. Too jammed up on both ends. Gets a little ugly about her head. Too round and short in her rump and takes her hind leg too far up underneath her. Got to clean the inside of her joints up whenever you turn and watch her drive. Gets too swollen there on the inside of her legs. Young ladies, that comes out next, real square build. Just a nice built one out front. Sways down in her top line from the profile. Doesn't handle her hip and hind leg quite as good. We got the remaining three that can kind of come out together. Nice looking gilts from the side. Just need more width and muscle to be competitive up high. My compliments again to them. Awesome way to start class 1. Very, very good blue belted gilt. Congratulations to them.
Placings for class 15 cross gilts. First, Allie Harsh. Second, Isaac Randall. Third, Mackenzie Kraft. Fourth, Abigail Owens. And fifth, Skylar Painter. Isaac Ramsey. We need class 17 cross skills into the makeup arena.
probably the deepest class that we've had in terms of this sheer quality, because as you look down the lineup, a few of those guilds, within respective breeds or even the last class could probably move up the lineup in those particular classes. We've got an elite pair of guilds, elite trio of guilds, and I love these two blue guilds out here. And I'll be the first one to admit I'm a sucker for a blue one. And these two right here are good. I think whenever you talk about blue females that have feature, length of body, their profile is good, and their build is good, both of these guilds are intriguing. Whenever they turn and come right to me, one of them has a distinct advantage in terms of width and forearm. That's the young man that I start with. Bigger chested, bigger bladed, wider forearm. You get right up on top of her in a lightweight division. That thing's got plenty of back, wide spread in her hip, keeps them square, leaving you, and yet still definitely in check in terms of her feet and legs. Very, very elite blue gilt and crossbred gilt to win this particular class. When they come out, I mean, that look, the presence, the elevation, and the dead-on presentation of skin and hair and bone work will immediately catch your eye. And this blue hip gilt that comes out here next, she's always kind of been kind of a squealer out here. I don't know that she maybe likes driving, but man, that boy's a good showman because he continues to keep her moving. You got to appreciate the way she's built from the profile. I see her maybe just a little tighter in terms of her hip. She's not as opened up as what your class winner is as she comes right to you. Got to be square in her knee. Love the presentation, the elevation, and just the way that she ties together better in her hand-point hookup comparatively to what we have at third. This young lady did a very, very good job of presenting this gilt. This is what I'm talking about. In most classes, this gilt's body and her feet and legs alone allow her to win that particular class. For me right now, she's a little too jammed up, just a little too quick looking. I'd like to just go ahead and just strengthen her front feet, square her knee up, and just clean her body up. I almost think she's too full for her frame size. I'd like to pull a little bit of that physical fill out of her. She wrinkles up right there, her hemloin, and I'd like to fix that just to make her look a little more attractive up high. But I mean perfect feet and legs whenever you watch her go. Square build whenever she leaves you. Big bones. Be a nice one to breed around. Young ladies that comes out next, just in terms of feet and legs alone and just soundness of skeleton, that allows this gilt to stay up and forward. She's not going to wow you anywhere. Doesn't have the muscle, maybe not the look, maybe not the bone of what we have down the lineup, but she's sound. She's square. She's good built. Whenever I think about fundamental long-term females, she's the one that for me will be the longest lasting of the trio that we have left. Young man's calico gilt comes to us the widest. She'll leave you probably the widest in her hip, and she's the heaviest bone winning class. She's too bow-legged whenever you're riding behind her. Her hind legs have got to be square, got to lengthen and level and rump out from the profile. This young lady drives out a good gilt. Obviously does a good job just getting her shown out here. Tone-fronted, good-looking, shapely gilt. For me, just looks a little too markety, too dried up in her flank, too dried up in her body, comes up in her spine, and just doesn't handle her rear too good enough. Young ladies that close the class, length of body's good, profile's good, gilt that just needs more to her. Congratulations to the group of them. That was a very good class to work through. I ask you to please, if you could, put your hands together for them.
Class 16, first, Matt Summers. Second, Gavin Young. Third, Macy Bautista. Fourth, Mackenzie Kraft. And fifth, Aiden Elliott.
In this class, another very, very high quality class, and both of these gilts kind of contrast in terms of their type and kind. The one I start with, just a little more tricked out from the profile, up-headed, snake neck, got a real long profile to her, yet keeps her top line strong and keeps her highlight within the inseams of her body better comparatively to what we have there in 2. Love the amount of just feature that she carries comparatively to just how long, extended, and good looking she is. I think her bone still matches her. Her feet are big. The biggest thing about her is she's got her feet and legs in check, and that's what I love about her. Still the extras, very, very unique one to win this particular class. More moderate, stouter bone, bigger footed, bigger armed, and stouter headed gilt will stand in second. The longer I let these two drive, the more down she'll get on her front foot. Little over in her shoulder, I get right behind her, and for me, she's just too wide on the insides of her hocks. Got to square those rear two up as she turns and goes away. Fix her right there to her hemorrhoid hookup. Dead on in terms of presentation of body, skin and hair, big top, big hip, big bone, good gilt there in 2. The one that's in 3rd, young lady kind of gets stuck there again with a nice gilt in terms of soundness of build, big rib gilt. Doesn't have the bone, doesn't have the length of stride or just the width of what those top 2 do, but it's definitely a good, fundamentally just stout, square one that has rib and a good underline to stay there in 3. Young man's in 4th, a little better looking than what we had in the gilt that's in 3rd. More shape whenever you're right up on top of her. She doesn't coordinate and go and just flex and stay as comfortable in her rear 2 as what those top 3 do. I've got to square those rear 2 up, allow her to get out here and go better behind, and then again up front, for me, just reads a little too straight up through her shoulder. If you stop and stand them, that thing will take an awesome picture. Let them go one time, and you can see the short stride one of those top 4. We move down the lineup, just again, study them in terms of squareness and build. That's what I scored them. Very nice set of gilts in this particular class. Young man's right there, getting a little too easy in her top, too far down on her feet. Then whenever we get down the lineup here, again, we just got to go ahead and build these gilts a little bit better in terms of their structure. Nice sets. Congratulations to them. Again, an awesome class winner.
Placings for Class 17 Cross Gilt. First, Isabel Scales. Second, Sydney Nelson. Third, Macy Bautista. Fourth, Connor Summers. And fifth, Braden Crum. Our next drive will be for the champion lightweight Cross Gilt. And from Class 15, that will be Allie Harsh. Class 16, Max Summers, and Class 17, Isabel Scales. We need to go ahead and bring Class 18 Cross Gilts to the makeup arena.
Come out, give these kiddos a nice round of applause. Again, definitely on curve. You did an an awesome job of getting their goals presented in their class, did a great job of bringing them back out and presenting them here in your division drive, and they waded through 3 very elite classes and kind of where you want to set together from a county fair standpoint, especially. I mean, been a very, very good show so far. I think the closest decision has come to me, though, in this particular lineup whenever we start to study for our division drive of class, or the Division 1 of crossfed. The bluegill that comes out of the first class is one that came to me, and I thought to myself, there's no way that there's going to be any better of gilts that will come to me than what she is, our lightweight division drive, with that look, that back shape, her spread whenever she comes to you and leaves you, I think is incredible. She's came out here and got probably to becoming the most tight off of both ends of the way that she moves comparatively to these other two. And I don't know if it's just because she's got so much shape in her back or what it is, but I'd like to loosen her up in the way that she goes. She almost drags her hind leg along with her instead of just picking it up, setting it back, and just going and rolling with it like these two do. The front 2/3 of hers is unique and as intriguing as you can make them for where we're at from this standpoint of what we want, presence and muscle shape, and just making some show barrows. That one's got a bright future. Little flat in her rib cage whenever you're up next to her. The one that wins class 2, I thought there was 2 good bluegills in there. I thought this one came at me and left me wider and more genuine at the base of her skeleton. I love the turn to her fore-rib and mid-body. It facilitated for a spread. Got a very, very good build to her whenever you watch her get out and go. Maybe not as attractive through her throat latch or just right there through her face. We get square front feet up coming right to you, but I do think from there back, incredibly good build. Love her spine and the way that she utilized her hip and hind leg. Very, very intriguing gilt to win class 2. Class 3 then comes to me. Snake neck, extended, long hip, level hip, and yet still so comfortable on her feet and legs. Her bone matches her length of body. I don't call her extra stout, extra bulky in her bone work, but I think it matches. She's almost a little loose there in her top line. At times whenever you get to the profile of her, she wants to sway just a little where that black starts right in the middle of her back, but I think that lends to her advantages out here whenever you watch her go. That looseness of spine allows her shoulder blade to come back, allows her hind leg to work back behind her hip, and then it, like I said, in a basic sense, everything just fits together. Out here and on them, it's a different story probably than what it is looking from the outside in. There's one of them out here I like a good deal. Comes out of class 3. Congratulations to her, the Belgian Gilt, your champ. Brings out the gilt that was second in that class, and again, I think one that if you can find, if we're mating them, and if she's taking this gilt home and going to breed on her, if you can find one that's maybe just a little bigger, a little more extended, and just a pinch square behind, that bone, rib cage, and stoutness of jaw is going to be making some real stout ones long term. I like her lots. I just wish her hind legs were square whenever I got right behind her, and I could fix her right there in her hand-going hookup. Just a bit more moderate, more compact than what I like, but I still think there's intriguing pieces in her. The one that looks the most like your champion whenever you watch him go also comes to me maybe just a pinch stouter up through her head and her arm. I didn't think this gilt was quite as extended, quite as neat looking through the bottom side of her neck, but I like her running. You're the second best out here. Young man's out of class 2. There will be your reserve champion. Congratulations to him.
Our champion lightweight cross gilt exhibited by Isabel Scales. The trophy being sponsored by Robert Palmer and family. The reserve champion lightweight gilt is exhibited by Max Summers. Class 19 cross gilts into the makeup arena. Class 19.
Look, it kind of just comes down to these two gilts out here, and take nothing away from the other ones. This gilt I start with of the pair gilts that both bring bone and width and feature to the program or to the shapings out here. This particular gilt is longer hip, she's leveler hip, and just more correct in the way that she goes behind. I still see an extra shot of forearm and skull in her comparatively to what we have in the gilt that ends up in second. Little uglier, you know, just about her head, honestly, out here comparatively to that gilt that's in second. Maybe just a little bigger eared, but boy, whenever you just talk about rib cage and the fundamentals being right, underline's good, bulba's good, and yet still feet and legs are good, it's hard not to start with her. I love the muscle shape and the dimension whenever you're right up on top of them in this thin belted gilt, big back, really big in her hip, and wide build coming to you. She's more uncoordinated whenever you set those two gilts in motion off of her rear tube. She kind of sways in her hip and swivels. This one's a set down a little harder in her rear tube than I like to drop her flank down comparatively to what we have there in your class winner. From the profile, I think this gilt's ideal. That's in third, good looking, tall shouldered, extended, needs to be wider coming and going. Even her being a little narrow like she is, I still think she's a better built one of what we have in the rest of this particular class. And again, just studying long-term females and utility, that gilt to me has more to offer. The one that ends up coming next, lots of muscle, doesn't hook up as good in her hem-loin junction, doesn't just go and just function as right out of her rear tube as what we have in the gilts that are in the top three. I still like her from there forward in terms of her build. She's the one that just stays a little more correct on her feet and legs up front comparatively to what we have left. Lots of power in these last two. Just got to make them get out here and go a little better. This gilt just kind of wanted to squeal and just not go. That one there needs to be square in her hind legs whenever she turns and goes, like the elevator up front and fix her front feet. Congrats to her.
Placings for Class 18. First, Isabel Scales. Second, Grant Beck. Third, Jaden Field. Fourth, Hunter Schreiber. And fifth, Jerry Plummer.
A little more challenging class. Obviously, we've got some different breeds in here, but I still think it fits together good. An easy class winner, in my opinion, comes to me in the belted gilt. This young man's presented to a T, body matches her frame, shape's good, hip and hind legs dead on, square built coming to you, like the way that she sets to the ground behind, maybe a little deeper on her front foot. We can square those front feet as they come right to you. She wants to pigeon toe just a little bit. Oh, and boy, from there up and back, I think that she's one of those very, very good ones that we've had thus far in terms of width, love her shape, everything fits together. And in that big heavyweight class, I still read her fresh and not fat. I think they've done an awesome job of getting her ready. Good gilt to win this class. The calico gilt that ends up in second, love her shape. I think she's as stout bone as any of them in this particular class. Doesn't have as good of a look out front, not as wide built, and she comes to you and leads you too round and steep in a rump for me to use her in this class, but a nice one in two. Big drop gilt comes with substance and depth to her body, doesn't have as much shape, width, or presence as what the top two have, a nice one there. Hereford gilt's good looking, nice build, keeps her up in the top four of them. Just got to make her stouter and sounder up front. Berkshire gilt needs to be softer and her rib just too long and hard. We've got the white gilt that'll come out there in the closing class that just way too jammed up and just too wide for me. Like her shape out here, a big body gilt, just too much, too compact. Congratulations to them all.
Placings for class 19. First, Evan Harsh. Second, Gary Plummer. Third, Macy Hendeliner. Fourth, Sydney Hawes. And fifth, Bryce Lehman. For our champion crossbred gilt drive, we will have our champion lightweight, Isabel Scales, and our champion heavyweight, Evan Harsh. Into the makeup arena.
Get our pair of gilts back out here in our heavyweight division, and my old judging coach always used to tell me, he said, hey, you think long, you get them wrong. And to me, whenever they come back out, no doubt one of them needs to win. Young man's out of the last class. Congrats to him. Good gilt. Gilton comes out there with second in that class. Big rib, stout bone. Not as neat looking as what we have in the two class winners. The class winner out of class one's incredibly big feature, big bone, going to be neat to breed around. If we can keep them good enough looking up front and then just go ahead and maybe keep them square enough on terms of their feet as they come to you and leave you, I think all of a sudden that gilt can have some elite progeny. She to me is the second best one, class one in this division's reserve. Congratulations to her.
Our champion heavyweight gilt exhibited by Evan Harsh, with the trophy sponsored by Blake and Kim Miller. The reserve champion heavyweight exhibited by Isabel Scales. Now for our champion crossbred gilt drive, we have our champion lightweight, Isabel Scales, and our champion heavyweight, Evan Harsh.
Two extremely good belted gilts. Give these two kids a nice round of applause. Two very, very good gilts to be out here in your division of crossbreds. I think both these deals have similarities, but both of them have differences. The Division I champion comes to us, and again, you know, you think about that division, you think how much better can they get than what she is. I mean, long-necked, and sets up high at the top of her shoulder, got an awesome look to her hip and her hind leg from the profile. Again, her bone's not the biggest, but it matches her. Her feet are awesome. I love whenever she turns and leaves you, the spread to her new claw, the depth to her heel, the way she pushes and plants behind. She's not the stoutest headed one, she's not the widest built one coming at you, but I think everything matches so well. The Division II champion comes out here, and again, maybe a little ornery right now. Man, is that thing impressive as she comes out of the gate. Right in the floor of her chest, into her forearm, and back into her body, down her top line and her shape, and out of her hip, the way that she moves and maneuvers and just gets comfortable behind, then elevated and elegant up front. If I'm fixing her, it's right there at her front feet, and maybe just a little tighter at her ham loin. And I think to me, you know, that's getting extra critical on her. Yeah, I'd like to fix those front feet, but I do think she's the one that, you know, just brings forth width and shape, look, and yet still so much balance. Two incredibly good gilts. I like them both. The one that just has the extras for me came out of Division II. That's my champ. Congratulations again. Brings out the gilt that was second. Again, like to clean her up front and just square her knees up and her front feet. The gilt that wins the first division. Again, very intriguing look to her. I just thought whenever you got them out here, you're next to them, there's not as much punch in her. Wasn't as wide coming to you. I could say the same thing about her front feet. As she comes right at you, as I could, my champion. Just didn't think she had the extra bulk. From the profile, though, that is one long neck, good built one that I think will be fun to feed, fun to breed. She's reserved. Congratulations to her.
Our champion crossbred gilt exhibited by Evan Harsh today, with the trophy being sponsored by the Mike Harsh family. The reserve champion crossbred gilt exhibited by Isabel Scales.
By the time I look at
Class 21 Gerard pairs into the makeup arena, Class 21.
Just the 1 liter here in the Berkshires out here, and 4 very nice meat homes. I mean, whenever you just talk about the rib and substance, very nice. 4 of them out here. Whenever you just begin to study them, they all fit together, obviously, very well as they come from the same litter in terms of moderation, bone, and body. These 2 young people have done a good job of raising their projects and getting them ready. Give these 2 a nice round of applause if you could. 4 nice animals they bring here to your litter division.
Our grand champion purebred litter is exhibited by Chesney Miller. The trophy sponsored by the Mark and Heather Grant staff.
pairs in here in our Duroc Barrow division. Both, or all four of them, are very good animals. I think the two that just match together better in terms of shape, length, and look are these two down here. That'll be my class winners and your champion here and your Durocs. These two will be second. Good rib hogs. They just need to be a little better out there, hip and hind legs. Congratulations to them, all four of the boys out here. Give them a nice round of applause.
Placings for Class 21 Duroc player pairs. First, Braden Calvert. Second, James Gardner. Winning Class 23 York pairs brought to the Makeup Arena, Class 23.
Since they were here, we decided to let the Yorkshires in. They were ready to come in the ring, so we did have right here before the spots. Two very good Yorkshire barrows, fit together good shape, good length, good hip and hind leg. That's a nice pair of barrows for those young men. Bringing two spot barrows here, and again, I think the pair of them resemble each other in terms of body and bone. Whenever you let them leave you, the whiter colored one there, the louder marked one, probably definitely has an advantage in terms of width and muscle of that particular pair. So they may not balance just quite as well whenever you get on top and behind them in terms of muscle, but from the profile they do. Nice pair of spots. My compliments to both these young people.
Winning Class 24 cross pairs into the makeup area. Are placing for Class 22 spot pair, Chase Miller. First place, Class 23 York pair, Colin Grossman.
Get our three pairs back out here in your purebred barrel pair division to be your champion overall, and I believe maybe a reserve as well. Not sure. I think there's two of them. Whenever you just get them out here amongst a group of them, they just kind of fit together perfect. I mean, body, look, balance, and soundness of structure is definitely in the advantage of the two Yorkshires. Those will be your champions. Congratulations to those two boys. Reserve overall, again, I just think too that balance a little bit better. Their shape to me is very much the same. I didn't think they were as big bone, maybe just not quite as powerful as a pair, but still two really good built, good looking ones. The Durocs will be reserved.
pair of barrows exhibited by Colin Grossman. The trophy sponsored by Kyle Maboya family. The reserve champion purebred pair exhibited by Braden Calvert. Gardner, we need your cross pairs into the arena. Caleb Gardner. Class 25 crossbred pairs to the makeup arena.
Crossbred pair division's good. Looks like there's going to be some nice barrows come back out at single entries here in just a minute. I like the two that balance together better, the two that fit together better in terms of shape, look, and squareness are these two blue ones. These will be your class winner right here. Close seconds, the young man down here with the two belted hogs, really fresh in their presence and good in their rib. I think one of those barrows to me is kind of significantly better than the other one whenever you just study shape. And right behind their shoulder, the two belted or painted up hogs down here will be third in this division. I like their shape. shape. I wish the white hog there just had a little more just stoutness to him and better in his body. Like to clean him up there in the rear part of his underline. And then we've got these two out here that have a tremendous amount of shape and expression whenever you're up next to them. Good product-oriented hogs. Just maybe don't fit together quite as well as a pair, but still two nice ones there. My compliments to the whole group of them. Give them a nice round of applause here.
Class 24 cross pairs, first place Gavin Young, second place Zane Young.
In this set of pairs, we've got a good set of them all the way through here. Just a very, very nice set of barrows. I'll be using the two blue ones down here on the far side. I think we got a really, really good pair of blue barrows down here, just in their muscle shape. They're tight, they're kind, everything fits together very well. One of them's maybe a little shorter bodied than the other one, but I still think the quality of those two barrows alone will allow them to go ahead and win this particular pair class. These two down here are going to be second. I think it's a close second. One of them has just quite a bit more muscle than the other one does whenever you're right behind them. I don't think maybe just size-wise they fit together quite as good. Maybe they do fall into the same class. For me right now, they don't look, maybe just quite as muscular as one of them, and one of them's real stout. I'd like to make him just a little bit sounder, but a very, very nice one there. I'm going to use these two young ladies right here to go next. These two, to me, kind of go together very well. I think their length of body, to me, is proportional. A little more jammed up, a little more compact market hogs comparatively to those other two, but I still like them a good deal. Maybe just loosen them up just a pinch there behind. Use these two next. I like these two just in terms of their body and dimension. Got to make this white one a little bit better built behind. For me, they get just a little pudgy looking. Like to clean that one sheath up. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the young lady right there to round our class out. I just don't think those two maybe match quite as well, but my compliments to them. Very, very nice setup.
Class 26 Berkshire Barrows to the makeup arena. We'll now show for champion crossbred pair of barrows from Class 1, Gavin Young, Class 2, Ashlyn Klein.
I probably don't do this enough. It shows, just to go ahead and commend people. But while we're in the pair division, and maybe, as tough of a time as it could have been to get that first set of purebreds out of here, without good ring help, shows do not work very well. And so while I remember it and it's fresh on my mind, watching those guys work, give your ring help a good round of applause real quick. I mean, excellent job. You're keeping the show running, keeping it smooth, and that's fun for me as a judge, because then you just get to continue to look at them. So my compliments to you guys. I know how hard it can be sometimes whenever you don't have enough people on the boards. I think when we get our pairs back out here, I'm really pleased with these two, and I think these two pairs are going to come back in as individuals, and we've got representatives that are very, very competitive. I would anticipate within their particular weight divisions. The two lightweights fit together good, and then the two heavyweights do. I really think that these hogs, if you just paint them all black or all white, they'd actually look very similar comparatively, because you got one that's maybe a little more extended in each group, you got one that's a little rounder, maybe a little shorter body in each one of those groups, but the quality amongst each one of those pairs is very good. I think the big productive stout hogs are, to me, the heavyweights. Whenever you just begin to study width and framework and feature, just how much muscle that pair of barrows has, and yet still being able to carry it, it'd be hard to beat them in this particular division. I'm going to use the heavyweights. Congratulations to these two young ladies. Brings out these other two, and I think these are two nice barrows. Whenever you just begin to study their length of body and depth to the rib, both of these hogs are very much alike. I think, one of them, if you get them into a single entry there, is probably a little bit better than the other one is, just sounder and more correct on his feet and legs. One of them has a little bit more muscle shape, and so I do still like those two barrows a good deal. I don't know that they have quite the dimension and just quite the build of what our other two blue barrows do, but those, again, are big, heavyweight, stout market hogs that are very, very good. I just like the extra look. I like the extra shape, and I just think the other two, to me, fit together a little bit better, and they're sounder. They look the most like our champion in this division. We use the two lightweights to be reserved. Congratulations to these two boys.
Champion crossbred pair of barrows goes to Ashlyn Klein. The trophy sponsored by Zane's LP and Gas. Reserve champion crossbred pair of barrows goes to Gavin Young. We need Class 27 bird barrows to the makeup arena. Class 27.
Good way to start the Berkshires. Very, very nice pair of Berkshire barrows to start this particular class. Keep market hog fundamentals in mind, and the barrow that I start with surpasses your barrow that's in second in terms of just true width and muscle shape, wider build underneath, just more genuine market hog built within his framework comparatively to what we have, and a nice up-headed one that's in second. He's not as heavy boned. If I'm fixing him, I'd like to stouten his bone work and just kind of lengthen and level his rump out. But hanging a carcass, that barrow right there has the bigger loin. Whenever you're up on top of it, looks like to me just the better shaped one, the leaner designed one of this particular pair. This young lady's done a very good job of getting her barrow presented. I think from the side you could probably switch that particular pair, up-headed, good looking, and big bone. He's just too flat whenever I'm up on top of him, and right behind him, got a little excess fill that I'd like to peel out of his rear rib and back there into his whole body. It just makes him look maybe not quite as well balanced underneath. My biggest criticism of him, though, is whenever I get right up to his blade, take him down his top and through the base of his hip, that barrow needs more true muscle shape to be competitive with your class winner. Barrow that comes in third, same way with him. I just let his feet and legs alone stay in the top three. He's just a little sounder than the rest of them down the lineup. A little more extended throughout, like his profile. Just needs more punch whenever you're right up on top and behind and up into the front side of his skeleton, like that barrow's built. Young ladies comes out more jammed up, a little more compact, lots of muscle in him. Got to just extend him out everywhere. Got the two young men there that'll round out the class with a pair of barrows that just go ahead and turn them in terms of muscle shape. Young man's is better in that aspect. I like their overall shape that they do both carry. I just wish they were better on their feet and legs. Congrats to the whole group. Very, very nice top pair. Just more true muscle shape and dimension in the barrow that wins.
Placings for class 26 Berkshire barrows, which, just for everybody's recognition, all of them were bred and born in this county. First, Adeline Jordan. Second, Abby Harsh. Third, Grant Beck. Fourth, Haley Backus. And fifth, Isaac Ramsey. We need class 28 Chester White barrows to the makeup arena, class 28.
We'll make you a special today, girl, and $2. Go for it, man. Could be jelly, could be custard, we don't know.
Nice pair of bird barrows. The young lady's barrow that wins this particular class to me is the one, and again, when you're right up on top of them, you take them down their shoulder blade or out the back of their shoulder, down their top into the base of their hip, and from there to the ground. He just got quite a bit more genuine width to him, more muscle shape. I think that barrow, again, the carcass-oriented hog, it still has a nice look to him. You know, I'd like to see him get out and drive, but I'd like to see him get just a little bit more aggressive with him, like the young man is that's here in second. Again, I guess if we're just studying on showmanship alone, young man can win this particular class. Gets his barrow's head up, got a nice looking one from the profile. His top line comes too high right there in the center of his loin. Get right in behind him, and he really wants to turn his hog's head, just not quite as square whenever he leaves you, but a nice barrow there in terms of the front 2/3 of it. The rest of them down the lineup, you know, just a little harder to judge, I guess. Just study him on feet and legs alone, and that's where I sort of, all of them have enough rib, all of them have enough muscle and mass. I just, again, sort of on soundness alone, and that's the way that I'll split them up and sort them. Congrats to the group. My compliments. A very, very nice top pair.
Placings for class 27. First, Lily Gerald. Second, Braden Unger Overmeyer. Third, Chesney Miller. Fourth, Dawson Overmeyer. And fifth, Chesney Miller.
I want your mom to
We got two class-winning barrows back out here, and again, you know, I guess if you're just studying on the outside of the ring and you're trying to just look at frame size alone, and you say, well, he used a small one, then he used a big one, and you just don't stay maybe quite as consistent. I think whenever you actually study them at the ground and then you build them from there up, they're so much better. In two market hogs out here than what we had in the other two that will end up second in those particular classes, just in terms of genuine shape, trying to keep them wide, trying to keep them good in their muscle, where we have a set of market hogs that maybe all are lacking some really, you know, some big pieces that we need to be elite market hogs, the elite show barrows. Whenever it gets down to the basis of them, those two look very much alike. They're wide built, they're big top, they're big square hip hogs. One of them, to me, you know, just a little bit longer about his hip. Whenever you get the pair of them out here, maybe moves just a pinch better up front. Again, both of these barrows, I'd like to see them just get out here and drive and just stay a little bit more comfortable. But the one that has the true market fundamentals out here amongst the pair is the young ladies out of the first class. This will be my champion. Congratulations, sir. brings the young lady's Vera back out there, was in second. Got a handle on her pig, and I appreciate that. Obviously, those two have worked together very well at home. Like the length of body, the extension, the build, the bone work in him. Thought that pair was close, just a little pancake shape. Whenever you're riding behind him, down there through his hip, lower part of his butt, just needs more true muscle shape. I still think he's the sounder one of the pair of them. Young ladies, it was second, will be reserved.
Our champion Berkshire Barrel, which will also be the champion county bred and born, exhibited by Adeline Jordan, with a trophy sponsored by the Robert Martin family. And the reserve champion, exhibited by Addie Harsh, which is also the reserve champion county bred and born. For class 28, Chas Wartenberg, we need your Chester White Barrow.
Drama.
That's how you
We need class 29 Durham Barrows into the makeup arena, class 29.
Young man's big Chester Barrel right here is my class winner and my champion, I believe. Big shape, big hip, stout bones, and a nice looking barrel for being a market weight that's heavy. I like that build of him. Again, maybe a little slower moving out here, but his joints are building him good. Young man's it's in second. Extra wide on both ends, too wide whenever you ride it behind him. Gets a kick in those rear legs too far outside of his hip. Still more natural shape and muscle and feature in him comparatively to these other two. Bigger rib barrel will come in three, like his softness is center, sets down maybe a little more correct up front than what your barrel does. It's in second, needs more shape whenever you're riding behind him and up on top of him. Too plain in his head, a little down in terms of his front foot. Young ladies, it'll close the class. Obviously kind of gets swallowed up. Just in terms of size out here, like the fundamentals of a lightweight Chester barrel. Feet and legs are good, needs more there to just go ahead and be competitive with the rest of them in this class. Congratulations to him.
Placings for class 28 Chester White Barrows are champion Chester White, exhibited by Chas Wartenberg, and the trophy sponsored by Jacob Ripple family. Reserve champion Aiden Elliott, and our champion county bred born Emily Grossman. We need class 30 Durham Barrows to make your way to the makeup arena, class 30. Abigail Owens, we need your Durham Barrow into the arena. Abigail Owens.
These two barrows out here, I think, are very, very good. The barrow that I start with, for me, out front, is a better hog out in front of his blade in terms of look and presence. Whenever you're right up on top of him, there's no doubt, don't deny it, the amount of muscle shape that barrow's got in his back. Takes it down his top line up to the upper part of his hip. From there down to the ground, he reads square and genuine. Very, very lean, lightweight Duroc barrow to win this particular class. I think the same thing about the barrow that ends up here in second. Study his rib and his build of his hip and hind leg. Definitely a good one to be in this particular setting, to be second. Whenever you get up on top of him, he too just reads a little too fat, a little too plain. This looks like he just doesn't have as much true shape as what that barrow does. You're fed on him, maybe just a little hard. His neck's getting a little bulky, doesn't have quite the look and extension out of his front end. Likely just go ahead and just put more real shape in his top line, open his chest floor up just a pinch more whenever he comes right to you. Young ladies that's in third, if we could get that thing's head up and make him drive like these other two, that's a good Duroc barrow, guys. I'm talking length is good, shape's good, build's good. Just maybe just doesn't have the elevated shoulder blade or just the front foot of what those two barrows do. He gets too soft on his front feet, then he wants to get maybe just a little bit more labored out of his front end. Still again from there back, that's a good Duroc barrow. Young ladies, this stout, big back that's in fourth needs to be sounder behind whenever he goes. Got the two barrows that'll round out the class. Whenever you study him, that one's better in his shape than that one is. He still needs to be better in his rear too. Young lady that closes the class has got a big rib, really, really heavy dimension one, just too plain everywhere. Congratulations to him. Awesome class to work through. Love that class winner in the second place in this particular class. Give those kids a nice round of applause.
Placings for Class 29 Duroc barrows. First, Connor Summers. Second, Abby Harsh. Third, Ashlyn Foster. Fourth, Ashley Hazelby. And fifth, Abigail Owens. We need Class 31 Duroc barrows to the makeup arena. Class 31.
bear class. I think all of them have lots of quality, and if you could just maybe jam the parts and pieces of some of them together, all of a sudden you've got the one that just easily wins. I still think, with that being said, one of them does. If you know me, you know I like them good looking, you know I like them wide build, grizzly bear backed, and yet still being able to move it. The bear that I start with is that. I mean, got a back getting 2 foot wide, same thing about his hip, hind leg square, moves good, sexy neck, opens up big, and yet still keeps his running gear in check. Dang good Duroc bear winning this class. The one that's in second for me, maybe just gets a little more jammed up through his head, right at the pole of his neck. I'd like to just change him and freshen him up, lengthen that rump out, but comparatively to what we had in third and fourth, I thought his top line read stronger. I thought there was more real shape in that barrel as you got up on top of him. Young man's is a knot in the drive. I mean, just a barrel that never wanted to get his head up, never really wanted to cooperate. I studied the fundamentals of his feet and legs, and just the build in a good Duroc barrel, and he has that. I love his feet and legs. That whenever he's out moving, he's very sound. He's comfortable on both ends. He wants to run downhill from the side. Gets a little weak in his top line, just not quite as much true shape in the base of that barrel's hip of what we have in the top two, but a good barrel in the front 2/3 of him. Young ladies, I initially had up quite a bit higher. The more he drove, the more that barrel just kind of fell apart. His shoulder blade and his knees set too far forward. He sways down to his back. He needs more shape up high. Just reads too fluffy and just a little fake in terms of his muscle. I got to peel that fat off of him. I do love his bone, his width, and just the amount of rib shape and dimension that barrel carries. I just wish that the parts and pieces fell together better when we got to the side of them. Both of these barrels can come out together. This one's better designed in his top. That one there has a little bit more bone. This hog has more shape and just a little leaner kind of design to it. That barrel needs that. Whenever you get up on top and right, whenever he's going away from you, still 2 nice barrels. My compliments to the whole group of them. Very, very deep Duroc barrel class, an intriguing and elite Duroc barrel to win this class.
Placings for Class 30 Duroc barrels. First, Max Summers. Second, Ashley Klein. Third, Zane Young. Fourth, Abby Harsh. And fifth, Braden Calvert.
The tape was involved, yeah. Apparently it was 2 inches tall, I think it's just
Light colored Duroc barrows, my class winner, big and heavy muscled, just the leanest hog in this class. Looks like his carcass balance in check, and yeah, still can get out here and move relatively decent comparatively to what we have down the lineup. Young man's it's in second there, and then the plaid shirt on the far side, big rib, very functional built hog, a barrow that just needs to open up better coming right to you. Like to clean him up front, good rib cage and a big stout hind leg. Between third and fourth, I thought I got this a little closer. That one's trimmer in his edges, better in his loin, bigger shape whenever he turns and leaves you. To move up the lineup, he needs more rib. We've got to stouten him up down low. Young man's there that'll close the class. Maybe does have just a shot more feature. Got to fix him on all 4 of his feet. Gets too far down on his pastures and just doesn't want to get out here and move quite as well. Congrats to him.
Placings for Class 31, first, Brady Beck, second, Caden Egner, third, Braden Calvert, and fourth, James Gardner. Next will be our champion Duroc Drive, and from Class 29, Connor Summers, Class 30, Max Summers, and Class 31, Brady Beck. We need your Class 32 Hampshire Barrows into the makeup arena. Class 32.
Bring all three of these Duroc barrows back down here. The one that combines the substance of one with the look and presence of the other one, the best feet legs, comes to us just as wide, as stout, as good looking, and yet still moves good as we've had. I just think an impressive barrow to win his particular class, and yet still to win this division. Be interesting to see where he'll set the mix later on. I hope they keep coming, Mike. If they do, it's going to be challenging. If they don't, it's going to be real easy. Right now, it still's easy for me. Young man's is right here as your champion. Congratulations to him. Brings out the mare that was second in that class, and I guess if you want to just talk about sheer weight and dimension, that mare has the advantage of where we're at comparatively to another one that I like. That hog's got substance, he's big in his cage. Whenever you're up next to him, he's maybe just not quite as good looking, just a little flatter in the upper part of his blade and more peaked there. I'd like to extend him out up front. I'd like to lengthen that hip out just a little bit. That's a good shape Duroc barrow. Lightweight is big back, big hip, and I think pound for pound, the second widest, squarest one at the ground. Still feet and legs are good. That's my reserve. Congratulations to him.
Our champion Duroc barrow is exhibited by Max Summers for the trophy sponsored by Scales Financial Services Inc. That also gives Max the title of the Champion County Bred and Born. Our reserve champion Duroc barrow exhibited by Connor Summers. We're now selecting for the reserve champion County Bred and Born Duroc.
Three real nice barrows out here. One of them, to me, just a little further out there than the rest of them. You know, we call him a little pudgy in his class, and he is. I mean, that barrow has got the shape just a little bit better relative to where he's at in his body. Like to clean him up right there in the bottom side of his neck, but a darn good one in the lower part of his rib, length of hip, and build behind's good. Be hard not to use him reserve. Congratulations to this young lady.
And our reserve champion County Bred and Born Duroc exhibited by Addie Harsh. We'll go ahead and bring Class 33 Hereford Barrows into the makeup arena, and let's get Class 34 Landrace Barrows into the makeup arena, please.
here to tell you, you do lots of county fairs and jackpots and state shows across the country, and I'll tell you, the top end of your purebred hogs have been incredibly good. Hampshire barrows are hard to find. I do lots of buying and reselling, and lots of breeding, and I'm telling you right now, I mean, it is like a unicorn, a mythological creature to find a good Hampshire barrow anymore that are built like these top two. These are impressive Hampshire barrows are impressive market hogs. The two that I end up with first and second both have resemblance of body, both have resemblance of top shape. One of them is stouter bone, he's bigger footed, he's wider built coming to you, incredibly athletic on both ends of his skeleton, perfectly shaped back in him, length of hips awesome, hind legs dead on. The barrow is fed, and just presented to an absolute T. If I fix him maybe a little on his front foot, and I know that's where the critics will harp on him, but I think that allows that barrow to be that much more comfortable out of the front end of his skeleton. That extra give that he has to his pasture lets his head come up and lets him stay just a bit more comfortable up front comparatively to what we have in second. This guy down his top line, his length of body and his shape leaving you is built like the perfect show barrow. Love his squareness of build, his hip and hind leg assembly, his design from the profile. Short body that runs uphill, got a good look to his head. Not as big in his forearm, not as stout in his hind leg, doesn't come to you quite as wide as what your class winner does. A little better on his front foot. The one that's in third just kind of falls into a buzzsaw of a class. That's a nice Hampshire barrow too. Getting clipped up right, just freshen that barrow up, and all of a sudden there's a barrow that has back shape. There's a hog that has rib, wide and square, leaving you not as much look, not as much presence to that barrow's front third of his body as what we have in those top two. Young man's that comes in fourth, big extended lean made hog, needs to be more opened up as he goes away. Same thing with the rest of them. I just simply build them on their feet and legs, and that's the way I sort the bottom three in an excellent Hampshire barrow show. Put your hands together for them. That was an awesome top pair of Hampshire barrows.
Our placings for our Hampshire Barrow Drive is Champion Hampshire Barrow exhibited by Connor Summers, with a trophy being sponsored by the Beck family, Derek, Darla, Brady, and Bria. And Connor will also have the Champion County Bred and Born. The reserve champion goes to Annie Harsh, who will also be the reserve champion County Bred and Born. Third place, Tanner Prom. Fourth place, Aiden Elliott. And fifth place, Grant Clark. I need class 35 Fulton China barrows into the makeup arena, class 35.
Nice pair of Herefords, young man's over there. For me, just wider, a little better looking out front, big shape in that hog whenever you're up next to it. This guy's probably just a pinch more stable in terms of the way that he sets his hind leg out of the base of his hip. Just too chubby and plain for me. But a nice pair of Hereford barrows. Give these two a good round of applause. That's your champion reserve Hereford barrows as well.
Our champion Hereford Barrow exhibited by Isaac Ramsey, with the trophy sponsored in memory of Jim Harsh. Isaac also will have the title of Champion County Bred and Born. Reserve champion Hereford Barrow by Blake Plummer. And he will also have the reserve champion County Bred and Born.
Two very nice landrace barrows. The size and dimension allows the young ladies to go ahead and win this class. Obviously going to cross the scale as the pounds heavier hog of the pair. Still the quality market landrace barrow of that particular pair. Good look, square build, good shape. Young ladies that will close the class here will be second. Good muscle shape in him as well for a lightweight barrow. Not as good on his feet and legs, but still a nice one there. Congrats to the pair of them.
Our champion landrace sparrow is exhibited by Ashley Hastelby and the trophy sponsored by the Evers Family Farms. She will also be the champion county bred born. Our reserve champion and county bred born is exhibited by Amanda Evers. We need class 26 spot barrows into the makeup arena, class 26. Gavin Leininger, we need your Poland barrow, please. Gavin Leininger. We need class 36 spot barrows into the makeup arena, class 36.
Class of Poland, the young man's right there for me. He's an easy class winner. Just surpasses his contemporaries by a ton in terms of muscle and his width, and just a good market hog. Like the fundamentals of where he's at, width and squareness right there at the ground. There that's maybe not quite as attractive out front as what your mare is. It's in second. Young man's that ends up in second. I do like the shape of that hog. Tremendous amount of muscle up high, real lean design. He just wider built. He's more genuine as the two barrows in second, third leave you. Young ladies that ends up there in third. Maybe a little sounder market hog. Done a nice job of just kind of getting him prepared for the ring. Oh, that just needs more muscle. You get right behind him, too flat in his hip, too flat in his muscle. Then lady that closed the class did a nice job with a lightweight Poland barrow that just needs more dimension. He needs to be stouter, just have more power out here comparatively to what's up in the lineup. But still a nice lightweight barrow. Congratulate him with a nice round of applause. They all exit. Good class.
Placings for our Poland China barrows. Champion Poland China, exhibited by Braden Croft, with the trophy sponsored by the Josh and Ashley Durr family. Reserve champion and also our champion county bred born, exhibited by Gavin Leininger. Third place, Kelsey McKee, and fourth place, Kinsley Kelly. Amanda Evers, we need your spot for class 36 into the arena. Amanda Evers. We need class 37 spot barrows to the makeup arena, class 37. We are going to go ahead and have our lunch break after the purebred barrows for an hour. And then right after lunch break, we'll start with our mini 4-H.
Good way to start the spots. A really good barrow to win this class in the lightweight spots. Big bone, good look, very sound. Good barrow to win. Young ladies right here that ends up in second, unmatched. From there down the lineup in terms of muscle, big back and really big and square, leaving you. Needs to be just a little sounder, like to freshen him up at the top of his neck and clean his jawline up. That's what I like about the barrow that's in third. A little bit better built. I think his feet and legs are just a pinch better. Just at the same time, whenever you begin to watch him leave you, he just gets too narrow right at the base of his skeleton. Wants to turn his hocks in, not as much bone work, and then hug is what we have in those top two. Young man sits here at fourth. Like the rib cage and the feature in that hog, just like the length and Hennessy about. Fix him in his ham loin hookup. Young lady, they'll close the class. Got a nice presented one there from the profile. Just needs more shape and width to be competitive.
Placings for class 36. First, Tyler Barton Overmeyer. Second, Mia Overmeyer. Third, Mariah Leininger. And fourth, Wesley Lawson. And fifth, Amanda Evers. We need class 38 spot barrows into the makeup arena, class 38.
Great class of spot barrows. I like these top two a good deal. That one just has more bone and shape and look to it from the side. This barrow here is big rib, real sound. Just not quite the look of what your class winner has out front there through the bottom side of his neck. Not as big in his bone work or big in his lower hip. Now that's a good presented one that fits together very, very well from the side. Those are two elite spotted barrows. The one that's in third, the young lady's got just a little cleaner in the lower third of his body comparatively to the young man's that ends up in fourth. He at the same time gets too round in his hip, like the shape and the bone in him opens up real good coming to you. Just needs to be square right there at the ground. Young man's that'll end up in fourth, big shape up high. Got to clean him up right in behind his sheet. He's got some swelling or a fat pocket back there. Needs more muscle as he leaves me. Young man's has more shape, too lean probably out here in the show ring. He just looks too tight in his rib, too tubular in his body back through his flank. Feet and legs need to be better. Young ladies will close the class, just hits too flat and plain. Congrats to the group of them. Awesome top there.
Placings for class 36 spot barrows. First, Jaden Field. Second, Chaz Warpenberg. Third, Emily Grossman. Fourth, Max Harsh. And fifth, Chase Miller.
Powerful set of heavyweight spotted barrows. I hope that I start with both of these barrows for me need to get to going a little better out of the rear tube. That one's just packing the extra punch, a bulk and rib shape, facilitates for a tremendous amount of spread up high. Real wide middle as he leaves me, just a little ouchie on his feet. The same thing could be said for this barrow that's in second. I like this hog's link the body better. He's better out through the profile, better outside whenever you begin to study it from the front side of his blade all the way to the tip of his nose. Real wide built one coming to you. Same view as he's driving right at me. I've got to fix his front feet, square him up whenever he comes to you, pick him up on his plasters, and then square his hop just a pinch when you get right behind him. Good shape hog as he leaves you. Young ladies, it ends up in third. Real nice design hog. Just gets too soft looking. Same thing with the young man. I still think he's sounder than what we have with the young man. So close the class. Nice set of them. Congrats to them. Congrats all the way through there. Good class. That's very, very nice class.
Placings for class 38 spot barrows. First, Marshall Binky. Second, Gavin Young. Third, Delaney Barkman. Fourth, Tristan Reagan. Fifth, Christian Overmeyer. Our next drive is for the champion spot barrow, and that'll be from class 36, Tyler Overmeyer, class 37, Jaden Field, and class 38, Marshall Fee. Class 39 Tamworth barrels into the makeup arena. Class 39.
Got three spotting class winners ready out. Three good barrels. I think in most cases they won pretty handily in their class. We get to the last class and didn't know that any of them maybe just moved quite as good. And so we used the build and the bulk and the width in that barrel to win that class. The lightweight barrel sounds big legs for being that lightweight. Got a nice look to it through the bottom side of his neck. Maybe finishes the ears and just give him a pinch more shape. Not a barrel that wins class 2. It's fresh back, fresh hip, good in his ribs, stout and sound. Be hard to beat him here. This young lady's got a good spot barrel. She's your champion. Congratulations to her. Out the barrel in the second that class. I told you, a close pair, good body, real sound. Not as neat looking through the bottom of his neck. Not as big boulder, just as opened up. And I think relative to what we have, the sound, he's good build, great rib, everything fits together. Sounder than another one and fresher than that one. He's bigger and bolder than the one that ends up winning the first class. Easily for me, the champion reserve comes out of class 2. Congratulations to this young man.
Our champion spot barrow today, exhibited by Jaden Field, with the sponsorship of trophy by the late Rubens family. The reserve champion spot barrow is Chaz Wolferberg. Next will be our drive for the champion county bred and born spots. Out of class 36, Mia Overmeyer. Out of class 37, Max Harsh. And out of class 38, Marshall, thank you.
County born and bred, good class to be in. I like the county born and bred deal. This proves that the kids like to do it, the families like to do it, and hopefully it keeps going that way within your county. Three really nice barrows. We obviously had a class winner out there, and I talked about him real good in his class, and he just looks a little ouchy, a little too far past his prime. But I still think amongst the trio of them, he's definitely the best one. Young man's heavyweight will be your champion. Congrats to him. A nice barrel that comes out there was second in that class. He reaches a little far with his front feet and front end. I've got to fix those front feet and then just square him up right in behind his shoulder. Nice looking hog. Both of those barrels I would have liked to see maybe just go a little better. Maybe just a bit piecier in his top line. Real good milk though in terms of his hip, like his rib cage. He's reserved. Congrats to him.
Our champion county bred and born spot, exhibited by Marshall Minky, with the reserve champion, exhibited by Gavin Young. We need Class 40 Yorkshire Barrows into the makeup arena, Class 40. Again, we are going to go ahead and have our lunch break after class of 10, class 41, Yorkshire Barrow, and we will break for an hour.
It's the same. It's close to the same thing.
I said at Tam Samara that for me just reads a little further along in his body and just definitely better on his rear too, Samara, that I start with. He doesn't have the circumference of bone, the look, and maybe the presence of that hog, but he is the marked fundamentally more correct hog of that particular pair. Wider square, better hind leg to win. Young Lens is in second. If you're simply judging him on the profile, that barrow's got the class 1 by a handle, even though he's the smallest one out here. Big bones, runs uphill, good looking, very, very unique for a Tamworth barrow that whenever you get right behind him, way too far out on the outside of his body with his rear tube, tucks up a little tighter in his flank, needs more shape to his lower hip. Those rear two legs just bother me quite a bit. That's why he's second. About third and fourth got a little closer. Here's the leader design one to be third, fourth ends up with a nice barrow here that's sound, just needs more shape. Congratulations.
Our champion and county board Tamworth Barrow, exhibited by Braden Unger Overmeyer, with the trophy being sponsored by Kaiser Farms, PTR. The reserve champion Tamworth, exhibited by Tyler Barton Overmeyer, and it was also the reserve champion county bred and born. Class 41 York Barrows, Class 41 York Barrows into the makeup arena. Marshall Finke, we need your York Barrow into the arena. Marshall Finke.
class of York Barrows, deep in quality. The bear I start with hits me real hard out of the gate. That is a jerk neck, big chested, stout bone, good looking one that's got an impeccable running gear. Very, very sound in this class with the amount of shape that he carries. Never miss a beat. That's a dang good Yorkshire Barrow to win Class 1 of Yorkshires. This bear that's in second, probably one of the worst attitudes coming to the ring today, but that young man's done a good job of trying to get him to present himself. That's a big rib cage, tremendously good shape back, and a wide build behind. I didn't see him as good out of his front end as what I did my class winner. Gets a little thick at the top of his neck, not as good there through his jowl or through the bottom side of his jawline. I just got to see him get out and go better out of his front end for me to call him a class winner. I still thought he went better on both ends than what this barrel does. If you stop and stand him, he looks the most like your class winner. One time in motion, head down or up. That holds the short step in one of the top three that gets too refined in his bone work. Young man that comes there next, the young man that comes out next, you want to pull him out. Very good hog in terms of his rib. I like his shape. Whenever you're riding behind him, I just wish he had more natural muscle. Excuse me, that one's next right there. That's right. That one's fourth. Young man that comes out there next, real good shape, like the amount of bulk and power that he has, and just wish that his rear two were a little more stable. That young man there was 5, good bodied hog that needs more true muscle. We've got to open him up and give him bigger bones. Young man that'll close the class just has a hog that just looks a little staler in his composition. Doesn't look like he's filled up just quite as well out there back in the pins, and then just doesn't have as much true muscle in him comparatively. Congrats to the group of them. An awesome class winner.
Placings for Class 40 York Barrows. First, Allie Harsh. Second, Marshall Binky. Third, Annie Harsh. Fourth, Evan Harsh. And fifth, Luke Hunting.
Another nice set of Yorks. This young lady right here in the white's got my class winner. Guys, that's a good Yorkshire Barrel. I mean, when you're talking about that look and back and hip, and yet still being able to move the way he does, if we get a handle on him just trying to get him stuck like these other couple up here in the top trio, that's a darn good Yorkshire Barrel that's extremely competitive. The bear that's in second, I appreciate you, buddy. Do a good job showing. I like that hog's width. I like his rib. They try to get him to shape up good to his back. Same time, though, I'd like to clean him up on the bottom side of his neck. Got to square those rear two up as he leaves me. I don't think he's bow-legged. He just kind of comes a little close at his rear feet. Biggest thing is from the profile, just cleaning that neck up and giving him a little more extension. This one's got big legs, like his blade, and just the shape that he's got in his hog. A hog that gets too piecey for me from the side, too round in his hip, tucks his hind legs up underneath him, and gets too flat on his front pasture. Young man just comes out next. For me, this has more muscle than the one that'll close. The one that closes there just needs to be wider and stouter to be competitive. Congratulations. Good set of Yorkshire Barrows all the way through.
Placings for Class 41 Yorkshire Barrows. First, Macy Hindenleiter. Second, Cameron Klein. Third, Jerry Plummer. 4th, Colin Grisman, and 5th, Colin Grisman.
There are 2 class winners back out. I think 2 homes that resemble each other a lot. Good looking show barrows that have the right kind of bone to match. Their body matches them. I think there's just one of them. I mean, pound for pound, just a monster in the way that he's put together today. I don't know where the end point is. Maybe this is it. Maybe we go further with him. Not sure. I don't know the background, but I would say that if you wanted to take him here in the next few weeks towards August and be competitive, got a barrow that can do it. Young ladies out of Class 1's your champ. Congratulations. Brings out the bear that was second in that class and comes out and just so good in his presence out here of his back shape. Real good out of his hip and hind leg. Got an extra shot of punch whenever you get those 2 right next to each other. Let him drive away. Didn't think he was as good looking. The biggest thing, his attitude wore his front end down. If he was better there, I think then pushes your champion that much harder. For me, he's still the second best one. Class 1's reserve.
Our champion Yorkshire Barrow, exhibited by Adley Marsh, with the trophy sponsored in memory of Dorothea L. Brown. Our reserve champion York Barrow is Marshall Finke, who will also then be the champion county born and bred Barrow. And we have to select our reserve champion county born.
For your reserve champion county born, obviously the mare that comes out of our first class was 3rd in that particular class. And the hog, I told you, if we could stop and stand him and just take a picture, he's perfect in terms of his lines and his accuracy of his body comparatively to his frame. One time in motion, like I talked about, head down or up, he's a short stepper. He's kind of just one of those shaving slippers behind. Got to loosen him up and let him go. Give him a bigger shot of bone underneath all that rib and all that mass. I love this heavyweight barrow's profile. His feet and legs are good. Didn't think he was just quite as wide as what your reserve champion was as he left me. But I still think that's a very, very good Yorkshire barrow. Young ladies heavyweights, my reserve county born and bred. Congratulations to her.
Our reserve champion, County Bred Born York, exhibited by Macy Hinderleiter. Okay, we're going to go ahead and break for lunch now, and we'll resume the show at 12:35. Starting with mini 4-H.
there. He said, "It's still big up there. You done for the day?" You don't have any bears? Yeah. That's sometimes that happens. Sometimes that happens. How do you decide who got to pick what? How do you decide who picks what? Say she got. What'd she get? Third? Second? It's nice and easy. It's fine. Looks are better this year than last year.
Albert, where's Macy?
She have to work a bunch this week. I stopped her the other night. I thought I might see her.
I have to ask for Macy.
Well, she said she runs the counter. Oh, she's cooking now? Okay, well, last time I talked to her, she was cooking. Yes, sir. Yeah, what? Yeah, what? Maybe what? It's like the sandwich fast food. I really get like minis or whatever. I got better hamburgers.
Macy, she sees me ordering something, like I don't eat salad, she stuck 3 pieces of bacon in my salad. If I order one bacon burger, she'll pile it on top.
There you go.
She'll give me extra.
There you go. I want to make a special.
So make sure she sees me. I have to show Quiet! Come on!
It's going pretty good. I mean,
Gracie!
I thought they might use more classes.
We're gonna go eat. Come on!
Breaking hours is like 11:30 to 12. My big thing is, I got kids showing cats here too. I might get to as much as both of them as I can. It's nice that this one gets over better. I think their shows start morning afternoon. These shows start morning.
Catch it! Wait a minute. Well, I just got her what you give what you show somebody. And I'm not gonna get this. Okay. I don't know how to get it. What?
Not in the burger. Not in the burger. Or did it in the program? He's not listening. He said junior 1 and junior 2.
Yeah, you don't sign up. Well, I showed Maureen, like, I did my dinner. I got to show the last
Yeah, I don't know why they probably have it back where we did the barrel. Surely they were. How do you know where they tell the first one to second?
I asked Mom, she found them in water too. So I asked her and she didn't know. I asked Heather, she didn't know. She's gonna walk into class.
Yeah, it's a sleep.
That's how I was gonna ask her when I went to go ask her. She was gonna come down.
Then she drives the whole thing.
I was so used to calling them Jen. So when I came from past, I figured out how to call Lucas. Now I can't call him anymore. I just call him.
It got rain yesterday. Yeah, I came here and watched the cattle show, and I went up to Castellano last night to watch the end of the sheep show. And I'm like, they had water on the pavement, and they had like area of the fairgrounds, and they had like caution tape out low, and they had water on the pavement. Okay, I just left Fulton County, we got like sand below it. don't see any what they used to.
I watch it. Like every day they have a show, like something you use, you can't show any other animals.
That makes it hard. Yeah, it would be nice if you get sat down, so like, I think there would be some kids here to show this side of the show. Maybe they will now if they get the call on that.
I did YouTube Sunday. I got grandkids on it.
So you're the kid.
Yeah. Well, my grandkid was my center home. Shaking eggs. My third grandkid was just
Have you shown any outside the business?
I didn't. No, I practiced. Macy's got great. I got first place, like everyone else, because
So did you show a breed rabbit or did you show
it's second.
did anybody show new pins here?
It was like an hour giving me.
Who judged it? Got casting.
I don't know his name. But he said he sent mine off because it's too big. This year, like we're gonna get a buck and bring it to her. So, people got in there, sent him home, and scared him to death. No, just like that, like really like.
Sometimes I get spooked like that and get run through his cage and stuff.
Macy's, that's what they should have just picked for nose and so far. But mine, it used to be like really neat. And knowing you like the best for us, now she's doesn't do anything because she's scared. But Macy's money, she was sweet, now she attacked me the other day.
We have a petty thing there. FA is paid up for $3. The person we had before graduated. We're always looking for that. He's probably talking about llama.
My butt is so soft.
They don't show llama here.
No, Macy's said they showed alpacas here.
Yeah.
That's what Macy's said.
What day did you do that?
They're not able to show it.
It's
Macy's
here in
like,
Cascade. I didn't think we did it here.
yeah, no. Macy's heart set on showing an alpaca.
That was just so correct. Couldn't do that, but it's so new. Because there actually is a kid that they have, lives in White County, you have llamas, single show llamas. I don't know how they did it, but since their county doesn't have that project, he comes over and just participates in llamas, and he shows the rest of the stuff like these village projects and everything else.
Yeah, this year I did pigs, rabbits, pigeons, and then I did community building, which was recycling and
How'd you do on that?
I got reserve chicken on both of them.
Yeah, my wife was saying they had huge photography. And it's not quite huge, but nothing like it. They used to be 30, 40 years old.
My skyrocket was a silo. And my recycling projects,
I didn't want to talk about
I decided to use like a little wagon or a little pin. Amazing. Her recycling, she like a table. It was really cool. I thought it got great, but on the way here it broke.
Oh, yeah.
So she just got blue ribbon, blue work.
They do the blue stars here too.
Basically, really everyone has to do one. And then everyone in my division also has a little champion.
Because I know at Cass County they did like blues, reds, and white, and white, but then they also have blue stars. So like you have the champion, obviously everybody knew which one was the best, and then they had blue stars.
I can't find the grand champion recycling again. It's not enough. I see the reserve champion.
So basically, for that project, you just have to repurpose something, right?
Well,
Recycle it for a different use or something.
you can make something out of like old stuff. No point like you don't buy stuff to make it,
Right.
just find it.
Repurpose it.
Yeah, mine, I got an old oil barrel. Got like got an old tractor, tore that apart. Seeded it, built that one.
I don't know. I don't know if I've seen that project anymore. Is that just a local deal? Or is that everywhere? Yeah.
I thought it was everywhere.
It may be. Stuff fairs don't have it. I didn't know it was like. I don't know. I guess when I think of recycling, I think of like the recyclable bins and those kind of things like that.
Old fan frame. An old like piece of wood thing. Like places of wood and then plexiglass. And I hear the main part of plexiglass is
You know, if you were wanting something for like a patio, you ever watch any of those fixer-up shows or whatever?
yes.
They take like pallets and they make like, places to make baskets on.
You know flea market stuff is?
Yeah,
You kind of do that. It's like,
that makes sense. Yeah, there's pretty incredible ones everywhere. They repurpose it. Yeah, in fact, the other night, I couldn't sleep when that was on TV. My wife was giving me a hard time. I could see it was hot, and I just couldn't sleep. So I put the TV on, and the flea market clip was on, and the guy took a trunk and made a bar out of the trunk. It was actually really cool. I think he bought it for like $25 and sold it for like $275 or something. It was just pretty amazing what he did. So they have some really good ones on there, like you said. I'm not an antique person though. My mom is. She's really into that stuff. But hers is more. She's more into like the wood stuff. So that's a good way to make money. You're good at it though. You have to think about what you're gonna do for next year.
we always do that last minute.
I know that's what our girl told me. You have a hard time, and like everybody's fired up at the fair because you decided to turn it in because oh that was a good idea, that's a good idea. I said, well, while you have all these good ideas, go ahead and come up with an idea to do ahead of time, or at least write it down so you know what you're gonna do. So, because I mean, like free-fair judging, I hated that word for fair because it's like they're doing all these crazy things, trying to get from free-fair judging. Of course, my girls do a lot of belly projects too. I mean, they do the babies, so it's like a lot. That stuff you have to do kind of at the end, but they did crafts, especially our number 2.
I was like, I had 3 days to do whatever it was due. My mom locked, I did it. 3 days to where it was due. Don't take a single minute, do whatever we'll have it, and we'll just like put it off till it's like the last day, and we're like, we need to get it done.
Well, I know it's been several years ago, my oldest daughter did a chair and a couple of end tables for it. And we have pretty cattle fans inside because we were trying to get the paint drying up so that we could take it to judge it. I'm like, this is stupid. I said, I should have started this a long time ago. But it's like, she paid until like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning after like the gift. I'm like,
What makes it?
oh, it was like it was in obviously the interior paint.
I use spray paint.
Oh, she used this is like she stripped it. It was an old like rocking chair. She stripped it and she stained it. And it really didn't turn out the way she wanted to with the stain. She didn't like the grain on it. Well, somewhere in between staining it, they decided to use the paint. So she had to strip it again, and that's why they got the far behind. And it did look nice with the paint. She made it. I don't even know the color. In fact, she actually sold it at the fair. So someone wanted it. They go to Florida and for their older couple or whatever. And you get it like ocean type, yeah, beach type, it's really light, kind of light smooth, and that's what she did it on, and they were made to be outside first, and that lady's like, this is perfect for her. She had a little patio, and really, truly, we didn't have a place to put it, I mean, we didn't know what to do with it anyway, so it worked out right, she was ready to sell it. What's that? I mean, well, art sounds like a lot like, I guess, recycle. I never thought about that, but one year, Dad, my youngest, he took an old gas grill, and made a flower pot playing around it. And it was actually kind of neat, and it ended up being the champion, but we don't use it. We used it one year, and it's like, what do you do with it? But it's like, I give my wife a hard time because, I always thought I could do it. You'd be surprised at some of those crap things, how much money you spend on stuff like that. Just buy it and make an actual work, it's just bad. Then if you never use it or anything, it's like, turn it up with it. But it seems like, well, the girls both get sewing too. Well, I didn't really mind that one because that's kind of still there on that life. You do the fashion thing type of deal, that's like, you get to do that, it's pretty elaborate.
See, I learned how to sew in 7th grade. I'm really good at it. Got it because I went to school. I used to make pillows. Make pig pillows.
Pillows, or I tell you, there's a lot of it. Come on, craft, a lot of it is white design, like the high level or time together. That's the problem with fire.
Cut little strips of time.
It's I think somebody's cooking it, so that would hurt.
These pictures are old.
Oh, I know what I'm saying. People say, well, they need to be replaced. Very expensive.
Oh, I see.
Price, yeah. I think it's not small enough.
It's long enough to
Grill at the same time. Yeah, hey, where they at? We're just broke for lunch here. When are you guys breaking for lunch? Huh? There's a lot more to it, but you got all the yolk done and you got all the sugar done, so it's got pasta there. I mean, looks like you now, isn't it? Have a good one. Pete, what are you doing these days?
What am I doing? I try my best. I'll see you later. Have a good one.
You going to school?
Yeah, I'm doing the conference.
Good, how are you?
It's okay. I'm happy I did the ID check first. I want to do it. I'm living in West Lafayette.
That's not bad. I've had some.
Yeah, it's alright. I mean, it's great. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Well, I knew what I wanted to do. I know
Where are you going to go from there?
After I get my bachelor's, I'm going to State. Oh, marketing.
I had my
Yeah.
Will you go get it and put it right underneath the teacher's right below me? Because I forgot about it down there. I left it down there this morning until this job.
Yeah. That's why I like ID Tech because, like,
But like something that you like and you're excited about that. You're going to go and I had and when they first started,